Hi, in this video we will try to address the dilemma questions of the students looking forward for CAT 2017. Now let us look at the most important question or the most frequently asked question: how to motivate oneself for the second attempt. Indeed a tough decision, if you are looking at writing CAT 2017 as a second attempt, especially when you've just appeared for CAT 2016 and you've not scored good. Now you have to ask a couple of questions to yourself in order to answer or try to find out the answer to this question. The first one is, how sincerely did you attempt the first one? I mean, if you attempted CAT 2016 as your first CAT, was it your best attempt? Because if that was not your best attempt, then it is very obvious that you have to go for second attempt of CAT. Generally what happens with most of the students, especially the freshers or the first timers or the second timers who are just to pass out of college, during their final year they encountered a lot of challenges due to which they could not concentrate really well on CAT. So those challenges can be in the form of college exams, because November is the month where most of the universities will have their semester end exams. Second challenge can be placement. So student will be working hard for getting a placement also in order to secure a seat, or just to ensure that he has a backup in case he is not able to get good opportunities through CAT. And there can be other such pressures also. Now because of which student might feel that he has not been able to give his best. Now in such a case it becomes a kind of an obvious choice that you take an extension and write CAT once again in 2017. Second reason can be that you already got placed, you did not prepare at all during your college days, you already got placed, you're working there since 1 or 2 years, and now you realize that you should write CAT once again, but you are into dilemma whether you should write CAT, you should appear it once again right now, or you should think about an alternatives. Third reason can be with reference to your career choice itself. That means, are you seriously looking forward for management as a career? When you attempted first, it was mostly out of the flow, out of the peer pressure. But when you are looking at second time, it is more of a conscious call, more of a decision which has a kind of a rationale behind it. So in that case, you are supposed to understand and try to answer this question: that is management education the ultimate destination? Is management profile the ultimate destination for you? If the answer is yes, then it makes sense to get into formal education as soon as possible. If the answer is no, in case you are not interested in getting into management, then you are still in position to answer to this question whether you should write CAT or not. The obvious answer is that you should not be writing CAT. But mostly when you are working, when you already have a job in hand, by 1 or 2 years, by virtue of your observation, by virtue of your experience, you are in position to determine what role you want in life, what kind of career path you want to choose. And somewhere in this career path, management will become an important milestone. And in that case, more or less, it becomes very essential for everybody to choose management as a path. And if you're especially not from a management background, if you've not undergone a formal education in management in your undergraduation, graduation, in that case, it makes sense for you to go for a formal management course. And hence, obviously, writing CAT at this point of time will become critical. Another angle that can influence the decision of writing CAT second time or can motivate you is, do you have a choice? Once you decide that you want to go for management, mostly you're looking at a career in India, in that case you do not have much choice, but you have to write CAT. If you decide that you want to go abroad, that means if you're considering a serious alternative, that means considering education abroad, writing GRE or GMAT, in that case also preparing formally for CAT from here onwards till the month of November still makes sense, because post that you can go for GRE and GMAT or whatever one of the two, because you will have a background of CAT. CAT will require more exhaustive preparation as compared to GRE and GMAT. So post CAT, it's easy to write GRE or GMAT, but the other way around is actually not advisable. So this can still be considered as one of the choice which can help you take a decision or can help you motivate to write CAT second time. Another question that is doing around these days is, does a year drop make sense at this point of time? Now to answer this question, we need to understand two angles. One is when to take a drop and the other one is who should take a drop. Most of such queries that we face is from students who have recently completed their graduation, that is in the year 2017 itself, and they have got a placement opportunity. So, now the placement dates or the date of joinings have been communicated to them by various companies, and now they are into dilemma whether to actually join these companies or to focus on CAT preparation. It's a very important, very critical stage where you find both the opportunities equally good and you are supposed to decide which one to choose. So, the first question in this domain will be to ask yourself, do you have a job in hand? If yes, what type of job profile do you have in hand? Typically, a student secures a job opportunity through campus or through different means just in order to ensure that he has a backup in hand. He is actually not interested in that profile. So, if the job profile that you have in hand is not something that excites you, it's not something that you eventually want to do in your life, then the decision of a year drop will become much more easier. But in case you have a very exciting job, you have a very interesting job profile, there is some management angle to your job profile, then you need to work out on the opportunity cost. That means if you have a job profile of, say, which pays you maybe 8 to 10 lakhs per annum, and it's on the business analyst side or is it the business domain, where you will get to learn something on the management side, you will be practicing something on the management side, probably you will have a couple of team members, probably you are into sales profile, and this is something which you want to do. That means there is a lot of learning attached to this job apart from the salary element. There is a lot of learning. So, if there is a lot of learning, you will be facing more bigger dilemma. In that case, again you will have to go back and ask this question to yourself, how close you are to your target. That means during your first attempt, if you had already secured 96, 97 percentile, 98 percentile, and this year with whatever preparation that you have so far, you are looking forward for 99 percentile. That means you are very close. If you are so close to your target, it does not make sense to drop CAT preparation and go for a job at this point of time, because it is just a matter of 3 months now. If you are not reaching close to your target, you have not worked really hard before and you have not been able to utilize last couple of months, in that case you will have to contemplate, you will have to evaluate other parameters before you take a decision of your drop. These parameters can be your desperation to get into formal education, your long term career goal, and the opportunity cost that is available to you in the form of job in hand. If two of these three parameters works in favor of you appearing for CAT, then you should definitely go for a year drop and focus on CAT preparation. But if there is only one parameter, then I would not advise. The next and obvious question that a lot of students will ask is, how exactly will work experience before MBA will help me in improving my profile or in my application? Now, that's a very subjective question, because when you talk about work experience, you have to evaluate the quality and quantity of work experience. So, for a typical fresher, a fresh engineer working in an IT company and going for management, it's very difficult to establish a correlation. Here, the candidate will have to establish the entire chain. That means, whatever you studied. So, if you studied an XYZ course, and then what kind of job profile you got into. Now, is that job profile relevant to what you studied? If no, is that job profile relevant to what you want to study, that is management? If the answer is again no, then obviously your work experience will be at the question that why exactly did you opt for this kind of a work experience when it is not related to what you studied and not related to what you want to study. So, a basic correlation to be established from your academic background to your work profile to why exactly you want to do MBA, or how do you think MBA will help you in achieving your future goal, and what exactly is your future work profile that you are targeting. So, if you are able to establish this correlation, and if the work experience that you already have or you are looking forward to fits in this the entire chain, in that case it definitely helps. Otherwise, it's very difficult. So, otherwise the element that a B school will try to evaluate will be the learning curve that you have, or the knowledge or competencies that you acquired through your work experience. So, it may happen that your work experience is not completely correlated to what you want to do in life or what you studied in before that, but though in spite of that you have a wonderful learning experience, you have a wonderful growth story, you have success stories, you have a set of achievements, and that learning, those acquiring competencies and acquiring of knowledge or having an exposure of a particular industry is something which you have accumulated and is something which will help you eventually in whatever field that you choose. Now, if that is substantial, if that knowledge that you have acquired and the skills that you have acquired, the learning that you have acquired is substantial in nature, then definitely it will help. If you are not in position to show that, if you are not in position to prove that yes, you had a tangible learning in your profile, then again it becomes very difficult for you to prove why you did that. So in case you are contemplating whether to go for work experience for a couple of years and then pursue management, then please evaluate what kind of work profile you are getting into. Try to understand that you will someday you will have to prove that this was the part of the plan and this didn't happen randomly. Secondly, if you are really clear about what kind of profile you want in future, what kind of companies you are targeting, and if you feel that those companies visit only limited colleges like IIMs, top IIMs, SPJN, XLR, FMS, and when you look at the batch profile of these top IIMs and you realize that work experience has a good weightage. Now, for example, SPJN has a good weightage of work experience. So if you have a really good opportunity in hand and you are targeting the colleges which are in the same range as SPJN or maybe slightly better, where work experience will really help, in that case it definitely makes sense to go for some good quality work experience before you apply, because here it is not only the CAT score which will matter, but your overall work experience, your CAT score, your extracurricular activities, your achievements in work experience is also something that will matter. So you first build that and then you can definitely go for a management program. Hope I could answer some of your queries that were troubling you in this month. For more queries, please continue watching our FAQ series of videos, and please get in touch with us in case you have any specific query. Wishing you all the best.